Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Teerenpeli. This is Kaski single malt Finnish whiskey, coming in at a 43% ABV, no age statement on the bottle. Now, for full disclosure, I did reach out to Anthem Imports for a review sample. They were kind enough to send this over, so just keeping that transparency. Kaski is not only a Finnish whiskey, as we said, but it actually goes through a really cool process that I'm going to read from their website, just because I want to make sure I get the details across correctly. So again, 100% single malt whiskey, comprising of 87% Pilsner malt and 13% heavily peated malt. So it actually comes out to like 5 ppms. So not a super big amount of peatiness in here, but it should be somewhat. On top of that, for their sherry cask, they actually used first fill PX and Oloroso sherry casks sourced from the Cordoba region of Spain. I'm a big fan of PX sherry. Like, it's one of my favorite sherry finishes for whiskeys in general. Scotches. You say that name and I'm there. On top of that, they actually used 40-foot X reefer sea containers to hold all their casks, so they get super cold, going down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to about 85 degrees Fahrenheit in the summertime. That is crazy temperatures to just shove these out into the elements, and they don't keep them heated. They don't do anything that's special in those reefer containers. They throw the barrels in there and say, we'll see you in a little bit. So yeah, let's get into this. As always, we're gonna be trying this two different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll do a little bit of water, see if anything changes up. And yeah, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hang around for a bit. I'll be doing some other things from Anthem Imports. Those links will be up above and down below. And if you're interested in picking yourself up a bottle, their link will be down in the description area below as well. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of PX Sherry. Like, as soon as I see that, like Rabbit Hole Derringer, and there's several other ones out there. Redbreast has a PX Sherry that I have, but I haven't reviewed it yet. I love it. I love the deep fruit notes that come across with the PX. And look at that color. Beautifully golden. It's actually a pretty light color. The bottle makes it look a little bit darker, but it's beautiful. Nice and light. So, let's go for notes. So the funny thing is, that Pilsner malt in there, you do get this malty Pilsner beer note. You do get a bit of that in there. You get a bit of the sherry going on too, on the nose. The Oloroso sherry. So the Oloroso sherry for me has a over-ripened fruit note for me. And not necessarily that's a bad thing, but I can always tell Oloroso because it's got this, just, you know, like you had some fruit on the counter, maybe it's a day or two overripe, and you can really smell the fruits starting to really getting juicy, or just getting to that point that you're like, I better eat that. So you're getting that definitely. But the malty layer in this is the maltiest whiskey I've ever smelled. You also get a bit of nuttiness in there from the sherry casks. Beautiful notes on that. And as you keep going back, you're almost starting to get that bit of peatiness in there. Just a little bit of earthiness. And maybe a little bit of a charry note. Like grilled fruit. Like if you grilled fruit on top of your meat, like in a smoker or something, we're starting to get that little bit of charriness on it. Because you do get that nice fruit layer in there from the sherry casks. Dark, like raisins and plum, things like that going on. Very fruity once you start diving in deeper. That beautiful fruit mixed with that maltiness is playing really well. All right, let's go for taste. Oh yeah. The peatiness really comes through lightly here. That is gorgeous. Oh, and it just keeps riding out. It's still riding. Oh, that'll get you there. That is a gorgeous sip. Well, we're going to be walking through it, don't worry. Wow. The peaty and the fruity elements are playing together so well here. You get that malty Pilsner at the beginning here, followed up by this nice dark fruit layer. The peatiness overlaps that dark fruit, so you're getting this kind of smoky, light smoky with raisins. And then you're just kind of rounding out here with a nice grain layer from the malt. A bit of oak, a little bit of charriness going on here. And then here in the finish, you're left with just a nice light smoke and this beautiful dark fruit note. It doesn't taste 43%. This tastes like a 46 at least. The mouthfeel on it's really nice. No ABV burns, no sharp corners, anything like that. It's well-rounded. I love that light smokiness in there. That really is what seals the deal. Again, I'm a big PX Sherry fan. You can tell that influence with those dark, deep fruits. And maybe a little bit of nuttiness in there as well. Gosh, that's gorgeous. A little spice in there too, almost like a bread spice going with it. Like a well-made fruit cake, but that peatiness is what takes it to the next level. Like, if they took out that peated note, I'd go, this is a really good example of what sherry cask can do to a great whiskey. But that Pilsner malt mixed in there with that light little bit of the peated, heavily peated malt in there is unique. The flavors that Pilsner is bringing to the table, like a beautiful, well-done beer. The after finish of it, malty, and you just get that nice grain layer in there. That is gorgeous. That is just gorgeously a beautiful sip. Okay. Add a little bit of water. See how it changes up here. There we go. I might need more of my glass. We'll find out here. Let's go for notes. Oh, the smoky element is coming out of there more. It is now like a snuffed out fire. A little more snuffed out charry fire. Here, the peatiness, the smokiness element has gone away, which normally happens in a scotch or anything peated. It tends to make that smoke really dissipate and brings out a lot of fruit characters to it. And that is what's happening here. You get a little bit more pungent fruit notes from that the Oloroso sherry casks. Getting a little more brighter and a little more just overly ripe fruit going on. The Pilsner malt isn't shown quite as strong here. Still kind of peeking through. A little bit of that nuttiness is there, and that bit of spice is really dialed back. So let's go for taste. Actually, the Pilsner malt really shows up maybe a little stronger on the taste now. You're still not getting that smokiness, which I didn't expect, but you're getting a bit of earthiness from it now. Maybe a little ashy characteristics. The PX Sherry isn't quite showing up with that fruitiness anymore. It goes very simple on the taste, which again doesn't surprise me on that. It's still a good sip though. It dials back. If this was a little too potent for you, maybe there was just something in there. That little dash of water tames it back a bit, bringing out more of those nice simple fruits, a bit more of that Pilsner malt. The peatiness is kind of washed away, but you are left with that earthiness. It's still a good sip. There's nothing wrong with this one. I love that Pilsner malt. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. The neat version has all the character to it. This is a gorgeous sip. But the water version's not bad. Just understand that you definitely are going to be speed running flavors, cutting a few things out. If you end up picking this up and this was too strong for you, again, I'd recommend maybe adding that little dash of water and work yourself back up to neat version, because that's beautiful. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So doing some searching around, this tends to live in that $100 plus range. And I don't think that's a bad price for this. It goes through a process. And being that it's a finished whiskey coming over here to the United States, you're going to have that bit of a higher price point on things. The peaty element, the fruit notes, the PX Sherry casks are not cheap from what I can tell. Most places that pick those up, the whiskey tends to be more expensive as it is. Honestly, it's gorgeously done. It really surprises me how well that peatiness character comes in with just so little of it in there. 5 ppm is not a lot, but it's just enough with those 2 sherry casks being used, it's a thumbs up. I'd easily pay over $100 for this. If you ever get a chance to, I definitely recommend trying it. But definitely, if you find a bottle, it gets a thumbs up for me because I love, again, PX Sherry, peated. You've won my heart at that point. And again, if you're interested in picking yourself up a bottle, please check out the description area below. That'll take you to some links. You can purchase this yourself and show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Teerenpeli Kaski Finnish single malt whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I even like